It's Thursday, September the 21st, and this is your Barbados Today morning news update. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. Topping the news at this hour, a Barbadian living here is expressing deep anxiety over the fate of 3 of his Bajan colleagues who are studying the fine art of batik in hurricane-ravaged Dominica. Not being able to hear a single word from them ever since the monster Hurricane Maria slammed into Dominica Monday night and killed at least 7 people, 57-year-old Alobinto Moore says he's saddened at not being able to contact his colleagues, who he only names as David, Ayanthi, and Troy.
The 3 guys that down there that's connected to me, we all originated with the People's Arts Movement. We were at community college together. We studied at community college, doing art and craft, batik, or whatever. And I'm saddened to know that they're down there suffering or whatever. And really and truly, right now, with the situation that's happening down there, I ain't getting really connection with my train, but I ain't getting a connection. And it has me saddened.
Moore, who is a commercial painter, said he has already sent relief supplies to Dominica through the Barbados Coast Guard.
I sent down some toiletries and soaps or whatever, you know. But I want to send some clothes in too, but the people like the Defense Force said no, that they don't want that there right now. What they really need is things like toiletries and food stuff or whatever, mostly canned foods and stuff. Plus the company that I'm working with also sent down some stuff. And we sent a couple dollars down on the telethon that VOB had a couple of Saturdays ago.
Meanwhile, word out of Dominica late last night is that telecommunications service should be up and running by this weekend. The news from Principal Advisor to Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt, Hartley Henry.
I know that both the main carriers, Flow and Digicel, are actively working. We've been given timelines as early as perhaps Sunday, Monday. We may very well be able to get some temporary services from one of those 2 companies. But already there are beginning to be signs of getting some light. I know also at the administrative level that there are efforts underway both from the French and Venezuelan governments to provide interim internet and Wi-Fi services for the government, for the key center of governmental activity, as well as for the police. So hopefully by this weekend, one is expecting that the crucial services in Dominica should have access to some type of communication, not only internally, but also to the outside world.
Stating that drinking water and sleeping gear were now the most urgent need for Dominica, Henry said Prime Minister Skerritt would be addressing the region from an Antigua Broadcasting Service radio studios at around 11:30 this morning.
Yesterday was a very full and hectic day for Prime Minister Skerritt. From early morning throughout the afternoon, he more or less journeyed across the island, both by helicopter as well as by foot, surveying the landscape, being able to assess and discover exactly what transpired during the passage of Hurricane Maria. He's now in a position to report not only to the nation, but to the region and the world as to exactly what obtains. And we are hoping that this morning, as a result of the poor communication service out of Dominica now, the plan this morning is to fly him out of Dominica this morning to Antigua, where he will then be using the offices of ABS to be able to communicate not only to Dominicans in the diaspora, but also to other persons in the region and around the world as to the true state of affairs in Dominica.
That was Hartley Henry, Principal Advisor to Prime Minister of Dominica Roosevelt Skerritt, speaking with Barbados Today last night. In sports, West Indies are facing England this morning in their second one-day international cricket match at Trent Bridge. In that match, which should have started at 7:30 a.m., the regional team would be pressing to score an equalizing victory, having been beaten in the opening ODI at Old Trafford. The loss means the Windies will now have to muscle their way through a qualification process to make it into the 2019 World Cup.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Morning, Miss Oya.
Morning. You again. So you're washing cars now? Well, I can't keep up with you at all.
Yes, girl. You know they're going to provision to selling slow. And I don't sell nation newspapers at all because them don't sell. So I washing cars now. I like to get up before 8:30 because I can't take the hot sun. You want the car wash?
No, not today. It clean.
But you're going in very early though?
Yeah, I just going early so I can read the Barbados today online before work starts.
Right. But you can still let me clean the window for the $2. At least it's still cheaper than the nation newspaper.
All right.
I got a special boo here that I got it shining. Thank you. Enjoy your day here.
You too.
All right. What that paper is? She can see clearly when the dirt is gone.
The Barbados Today, news you can trust.
Welcome back. A medical outpost is being set up in Barbuda, which was made almost uninhabitable by the recent passage of monster Hurricane Irma. A section of the Hannah Thomas Hospital will be used at the outpost once the cleanup efforts begin in earnest. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Rhonda Seeley Thomas assures of adequate medical care on Barbuda once more people begin returning to the island.
The Pan American Health Organization assessed the Hannah Thomas Hospital and they identified an area where we could temporarily set up a medical post. The intention is to have that area cleaned, have a generator in so that we have electricity, provide safe water.
As the death toll from Mexico's powerful earthquake keeps climbing, President Enrique Peña Nieto has confirmed more than 20 children and 2 adults have been found dead at a primary school in Mexico City following the massive quake on Tuesday.
Mexican President Enrique Peña Nieto confirmed more than 20 children and 2 adults have been found dead at a primary school in Mexico City following the massive earthquake. Family members have been desperately searching for any news on their missing relatives.
The only thing authorities have said is to go to forensic centres and hospitals to check if our family's there. But my family's been there and we don't have any news.
Many children and teachers are still thought to be trapped under the rubble. It was lunchtime when the quake hit the school in the neighborhood of Coapa, less than 2 weeks after another powerful quake that killed at least 98 people in southern Mexico. Emergency services and volunteers have been working through the night using picks, shovels and even their hands to move the rubble.
And that's news and sports, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. Also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We are also on Izumi Media in bus terminals or Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you, as well as Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic day.